Good morning, everyone. So this is a webinar / workshop of OpenLearning Basics, developing your online course structure. So this is one of the many workshops that we try to do in every month to try to help educators to come up with courses online. It doesn't have to be courses for open learning. Like for this one, you can use it for any other online courses that you plan to do. Right? But for this one, this is specifically for course structure. All right. So for those who just joined us, I have mentioned earlier that the course that I'm using today is actually open for all, so you can actually join in the course itself. So apart from just listening in, you can actually join in the activities and submit your work while we're going through the workshop. Okay. Also, if you opt to just listen in, you could. There's no pressure, no problem at all. So without further ado, I will start with the workshop. Okay. So again, welcome everyone to OpenLearning Basics workshop. This workshop is catered for course structure. But before that, if you have any questions, you can ask in the chat box, or you can also ask here. Or if you ask here, you can ask this anytime, even after the webinar. We will try to answer your question, just about anything regarding this workshop. Okay, all right. Okay, so this workshop is created because we wanted to help educators who might have a problem or struggle with transitioning from physical classes to online classes. So you might wonder that the course that you have, that you usually use in your physical class, would it be okay for online environment? So this is what we're trying to do today. We're going to help you come up with a course structure for your online course. All right. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. My team is always happy to help out. Okay. All right. So our first activity today is that I want you to take a moment and think back on how you learn best. So this learning time is, it doesn't matter when. It could be when you're small, it could be from yesterday, it could be a month before. There has to be a time that you know when, how do you learn best? So I want to know, how do you learn best? Do you learn best by doing practical activities, by doing research, or by writing down your important notes? How do you learn? I want to know that. So okay. Okay, so for those who are in the course, you can share your answer in the comment section here. For those that are not in the course, you can give out your answer in the chat box. So I want to know how you learn best. So for this, I actually have heard some people who learn best by doing it, by practical activities. So like for activities, they have to tinker in order for them to learn. So a lot of people tend to have that as a method for them to learn the best way. Some people learn by watching videos. I actually learn a lot of cooking recipes by watching YouTube videos. So I swear it saved my life a lot by just watching videos, because I'm not of a good cook. So watching videos, watching simple videos on how to cook simple recipes, it helped me. So that is how I learn. And oh wow, a lot of people are sharing here in the comment section that they like Lisa Loom, her method is by writing down important notes. Yes, I think a lot of students actually do this. They write down the important notes, highlight it down. So that is a method, okay. Oh, Ivan says through experience or trial and error. Oh yeah, I can agree that. Okay, now I have one saying Google Meet, and YouTube. One Zahir Nordin. Okay, by watching videos and answering questions. What type of questions, Noor? And then we have, oh, I think a few people are saying they learn best through videos. Okay, Dr. Beauty Moy, sorry if I am saying your name incorrectly. Said by doing my own research and jotting down practical and applicable facts and concepts, giving time for incubation and then self-evaluating. Wow. Yeah. Oh, doing your own research. Yeah. That is a good way. That is a very long explanation for that. And I agree with you. I like that, your explanation. Ahmad Samah is saying that he learned a lot more by doing. Rosanna said hands-on, watching videos and mapping. We have video logs, observing. Fazila says observing. Oh, this is the first. But yeah, that observing is a way, a method. You can learn a lot from just absorbing. Okay, carry out activity and reflect. Okay, let's see if there's some in the course. Okay. Oops. All right, so there's here, Hafiza says, learn by doing the best, watching videos. And Nur Farin says, I learned through trial and error, mostly practical. Okay. Oh, by visual practice, learn by doing, jotting down notes. Ah, okay, jotting down notes and applying it into real life situations. That's good. All right, learn best by asking good questions. But, oh yeah. This is okay. I think it's a blend of all activities, but definitely having the practical activities consolidate my learning and make me reflect more. Okay. Yes, yes. I agree with all of you. So when you have this method of you learning best, would you want your learners to learn like that? Do you or do you want them to just read out the notes that you give? How do you want them to learn? So right here, I have seen a lot of people having different methods. So you have students of a number of students. Of course, they all have like a number of ways of them learning on their own, right? So you have to take consideration of that they have their own method. So think about that. Okay, all right. Now let's go to the next page. Let's start our journey. Okay, so we only have two learning outcomes for this webinar and workshop, which is designing your course structure, and then we have developing your course content. Only two. Very simple to do. All right. So first, we're going to start with open learning philosophy. Okay, I know I said this can be done with any course, but I'm going to start with open learning philosophy. Okay, all right. Okay, so here at Open Learning, we learn the social way. So that is what we say all the time. That's basically our motto. We learn the social way. What I mean, how we learn the social way is that we have three philosophy that we hold on to. We have student empowerment, authentic active learning experiences, and community and connectedness. What this means is that we want the students to learn on their own. We want them to learn because they wanted to through intrinsic motivation, and we want the students to have an active learning experiences that goes beyond the publishing content, goes beyond what you give them. And also we want them to have a community and connectedness, which our platform provides, because we want them to have support, encouragement, and knowledge sharing with other students, not just student and teacher relationship. We want them to have a student and student relationship too. So that's what we meant by we learn the social way, right? Okay, so we have three philosophies, and how do you think we incorporate this in our course whenever we create our course? Okay, I'm a learning designer, so I usually create courses for open learning. So how I make sure that we incorporate all this three philosophy is that we use constructivism. Okay, so what is constructivism? So constructivism, let's go a little bit. I'm just gonna go theory a bit here before we go into our activity. So constructivism is basically so we know that students construct knowledge in both ways, conventional and constructive, when they're learning. So but the difference is that when they learn by constructive learning, it fosters a deeper learning, and construction happens when the student is actively involved in the learning. So what it means by actively involved is that they have experiences in those, and they will have experiences and reflect on those experiences. They will discuss their ideas. They can work in groups, ask questions, doing experiments, etc. All these methods are called constructivism. This is more than just remembering or understanding. The students get to build their knowledge base. All right. So here, the teacher's role in constructivism, the teacher's role is to carefully design learning experiences that will facilitate students constructing their own understanding and facilitate the process of learning and discovery for the students. So your role as an educator is that you have to create the learning experiences to help with the students' learning. All right, okay. And then what are the characteristics of conventional and constructivist classroom? So a conventional classroom is where the teacher is the center of the knowledge. It's a teacher-centered classroom. The teacher transmits the information to the students to receive. So the teacher speaks and the students usually listens and receive the information passively. On the other hand, constructivist classroom is the opposite. It's more of a student-centered learning. So students learn because they wanted to know more. So this is more an active learning if you use constructivist learning. Okay. So here are the key differences between conventional and constructivist classroom. Okay, I might have to make it bigger. All right. Okay, so here is the differences between conventional and constructivist classroom. So you can see here, curriculum begins with the parts of the whole, emphasize basic skills. But for constructivist classroom, curriculum emphasizes big concept, beginning with the whole and expanding to include the parts. All right. Here, materials are primarily textbooks and workbooks for conventional, but constructivists include primary sources of material and manipulative materials. And another one is learning is based on repetition, but constructivist learning is interactive, building on what the students already know. So for this workshop, we are trying to use constructivist method. So we're not doing repetition so much. You get to experience this, right? And also, you can see others here. You can read this on its own, but I want to highlight that this one, students work primarily alone, but for constructivist, students work primarily in groups. Okay, so when you're designing an online learning online course, take points of this, that you want to create activities so that the students can work together and not just on their own. You want them to share their experiences, okay? All right. Okay, so now, the summary is that you might think conventional is teacher-centered, constructive is student-centered, okay? All right. Okay, yeah, for those who are in the course, you can read more about Constructivist Classroom by just clicking here, okay? It will lead to a subpage if you want to know more about Constructivist Classroom and how to do a constructive classroom, okay? All right, so now I am introducing you to course design template. So now that you know about constructivism, how do you incorporate this in your contents? Okay, but before we create the contents and activities, you have to look on your course structure first, right? Course structure is very important because it is also part of constructivism. All right, so we have a template that we always use whenever we design our courses. So if you can see here, this is a template which you can actually download to. This is what we use usually when we're designing course. We have key details is divided by two parts, key details and then constructive alignment. Okay, so the key details here are like the general details, the target audience, learners hooks, outcomes, final activities, and also constructive alignment. We will actually go through this, all this one by one to fill in during this webinar, right? Okay, so in the next part, we will actually fill in the key details first, which is the target audience, learners hook, learning outcomes, and final activity. For the course title and overview and aim, you can do this as you usually do. And for the second part of the webinar, which is the constructive alignment, we will try to come up with your content and learning activities, all right? Okay, great. So for those who want to use this template during this workshop, you can download this by clicking the download button over here. Okay. All right. Next. Okay, so now we want to start to fill in the key details. But before that, you have to answer some questions. All right. Some questions. Okay. So first, I want you to imagine you're hosting a dinner party. Some of your guests will know each other, but many won't. How do you plan, prepare, and host a dinner party so everybody enjoy themselves? Can anybody share what would they do when they're hosting a dinner party or an open house or rumah terbuka for raya or anything? Okay. Okay, so for usually for when hosting a dinner party or an open house, for me, I have to plan out my events. So I have to think about the people that comes in. Because I'm a host, so naturally I would know most of the people that I invite. What would they want to eat? If some of them are vegetarian or have food restrictions or anything. What kind of events? What kind of music, seatings, event space? I have to think about all of this, right? So this is what you want to think of when you're planning a dinner party. Okay, right? Okay, so again, why do dinner parties relate to teaching and learning design? Why am I asking you about open house and how do you plan this? All right, so I know that when you're having a dinner party or an open house, of course, you want your guests to have a great time. You would think of all the necessary things, like if they're vegetarian, if they can, they have restrictions, like they have sickness or anything. You want to cater to them. So how this what this means is that you want to create an environment, a warm and caring environment. You want them to have a good experience, and also you want to facilitate a wonderful evening so that everybody can get to know one another. Everybody can be social, can also help each other out, and comfortable to talk one another, even though they don't know everyone. So you want to create this. So what planning a dinner party and planning and learning design have in common is that these three points. In learning design, especially during an online course where you can see the people that you're learning with, you want to create a warm and learning and caring environment. You want them to have a great experience, and you want to be able to facilitate the course, and the students can get to know one another. You don't want the course to be static, where they only read and they read and they go. You don't want that. What you want in an online learning is that what you can also achieve in a physical class, right? So this is the same way as you planning a dinner party, right? You want to achieve those moments, okay? All right. So the questions that you need to answer before you start filling in those key details is that you need to know who are you teaching your course to, right? Okay, like planning your dinner party, you need to know who you're hosting it to. If you're hosting to a datuk, what kind of environment would you need? If you're hosting to a series of elderly people, what kind of environment would they need, right? So that's the same. You need to know all this information before you open up your class, your home to somebody that you don't know too much about, right? Okay, so the questions are that who are the target students and what are their key characteristics? What do they know about this topic? What might they find interesting about it? What are the learning outcomes? How will you assess the students' learning? What is the most appropriate delivery mode? Which is this a university course? Is this a short course? Is this a MOOC, a blended program, or a 3-day workshop? What topics do students need to learn about to achieve your learning outcome, how will you break that down to meaningful content activities? Okay, so before you start with your course, you have to know all these answers beforehand, because you need to know your audience, you need to know what they need, and how do you plan to achieve what you have set early on. Okay, all right. So so for those who are in this course, I want you to answer answer the question, this question only: who might be taking your course? What are their backgrounds? Do they have professional background? What are their cultural backgrounds? Their gender, their age, anything that, of the background, their background, your student's background that you want to put in. Why are they taking the course? Is it one of the mandatory UCD courses? Is it just one of the professional courses? Is it a micro course or a short course? You need to know that. Why? And then what kinds of information, resources, and ideas might they connect with best? So this could be videos, articles, or anything. You can put this information, okay? And then part 2 is that what could be the hooks of your course? Okay, for those who don't know what course hooks are, hooks is basically something attractive that will attract the students to join your course. Basically, think of it like if they don't have to take the course, this is not a mandatory course and they don't have to take it, why would they take your course? Think about it like that. Like what would your course give to the students by the end of the day, by the end of the lesson, the course? What would they achieve by learning, by joining your course? Try not to put something extrinsic, that is an extrinsic motivation to them. Try to make it intrinsic, like by joining a course, they will be able to like a cooking course, maybe baking course. Maybe by the end of the course, they might be able to create their own cake based on their own recipe. So it might be personalized to them. It might make it more meaningful to them. Okay, so that could be a hook. Okay, so find out what is the hook for your course, right? Okay. Okay, so yes. Okay, so I have one Zahir Nordin saying hook equals to create intrinsic motivation. Yes, yes. That is the easiest analogy that you can give. Hook is to create intrinsic motivation. Okay. All right. Okay. So if you already have this, you have answered who are your learners and what could be the hook for your course. You can fill in the course design template, fill in the target audience and learners hook in the course design template. So that's 2 parts only. You don't need to fill in the others. We will go through it as we go. So just 2 parts, just the target audience and the learners hook. So for your target audience, basically you summarize this, who are your learners, and put it as your target audience, and learners hook is this one. Okay. For those who don't have your hooks yet, you could also share this your hook ideas in the comment section. You can put in your course title, what is it about, and then share your ideas. And then other people can comment on your ideas also, okay? So for those who needs help with identifying their hooks for their course, you can ask for other people's help, in which you can put in the comment section. Okay. All right. Okay. I will give like 5 minutes for anybody to fill in their target audience and learners hook in their course design templates. Okay. And for those who have any questions, you can ask either in the chat, in Zoom chat, or in the course. Okay, Lisa. Okay. My class is Victor. Okay. Junior and Lisa Low. Okay. Senior doctors and pharmacists. Okay. Oh, for those who have any questions, try to use the Q&A function in Zoom instead of the chat, so that our team can identify which one is to answer, or some of it might be for the course instead. Okay. Okay. How to transform into a okay. I agree, Lisa. It's difficult to think of hooks if it's not mandatory. Sometimes it's easier to say, you take this course because you have to, but every course have their own hooks. You have to just dig it out. Okay. Okay. How to transform into a successful doctor? That would be actually make a good course title. How to transform into a successful doctor. But for that, I think you need to come up with a more intrinsic motivation besides being a successful doctor. Like maybe they can think of ways to be a better doctor. Maybe you can make it more personalized, like what would they gain by being a successful doctor. Okay, let's see. Wow, that's also here. Okay, creative example, creative food. Undergraduate students, racial motivationals. By joining, students will be able to explore the current trends. Choose before sharing with peers. Okay, this is good. Okay. Current trends. Something you do every day and okay, this is this is good, but maybe you need to go in a bit deeper than something you do every day in your daily life, and later as a pharmacist, maybe you can say like they can actually utilize this the learning in the course in their everyday life. Okay. This one is make the course compulsory. Okay, learners hook new ways of managing people and organization. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, I think that this is good sharing. Okay, for those who's interested to see, you can join in the course. But you can also join this course after this webinar. It will always be there. It will always be open for you to learn. Okay. All right. Okay. I think everybody got their hooks and their target learners. Let's move to the next page. Okay. Next is measurable learning outcomes. Okay. I know that most of you are educators from institution, from UCT. So you have heard all this about learning outcomes all the time, right? But I want to I want to give this take because this is more for an online learning environment, and it might be slightly different on how you might do it in a physical class. So the thing about online learning is that it will give more power to the students to learn on their own. So having a great set of outcomes can let the students evaluate and expect what they will be learning. So it's best for you to already set an outcome early on, tell them what their outcome and put it outside somewhere visible where they can see, because this set of outcomes set the expectation for the students on what they will be learning. It will actually also be an intrinsic motivation for them to learn more about your course. Okay, and having a great set of outcome doesn't just help the students; it will actually help you too as an educator, because by having a good set of learning outcome, it will also help you in determining your contents and activities. Okay. And also, you may already have a good set of outcomes, but is it a measurable learning outcome? That is what I'm stressing right now. Is it a measurable learning outcome? Okay, and the reason why you need it to be a measurable learning outcome is that it will help you later on when doing your activity and even when creating your assessment. Okay, so writing a measurable learning outcome is basically the first step of your course design. You know what course outcome? It is it describes what learners should be able to do by the end of the lesson. It's basically a goal that you want the students to achieve. Okay. So why do we need to write a course outcome? Because course outcomes are the roots of your course, where your lessons and activities would stem directly from. They would provide you a focus in teaching and learning, and most importantly, you want your students to be clear on what they are achieving at the end of the course. Okay, so here's a quote that you can think of. If learners are to take more responsibility of their own learning, they will need to know what they are going to learn, why they should learn it in the first place, and how they will recognize what they have succeeded. So by showcasing your learning outcome early on, you basically will showcase. You will set the expectation for the students, so they will get to know. They will expect what they will learning and why they are learning it, and also how they are learning it. So learning outcome actually shows this, all this what, why, and how. Okay, so you want your learning outcome to be that good, to be able to, for the students to see this three questions. Okay, so how do we write a measurable learning outcome? Okay, since a constructive learning allows learners to take more responsibility of their own learning, they need to be clear on what they're supposed to do. And why they should do it, and how will they recognize if they have fulfilled the learning outcomes. That is why it is important for the learning outcomes to be written in a way that can be measured. So how do you create measurable learning outcomes? You use active verbs. First, you use active verbs such as identify, describe, analyze. Avoid using words like know and understand, because you cannot measure know and understand. Okay, try to avoid that as much as you can, because when you have understand, it is hard for you to create an activity or assessment. How can you assess the students know or understand the topic? Okay. And another is start with a lower level of learning and move towards a deeper level. Okay. And finally, share them verbally and visually with your participants or learners and have them visible throughout the lesson. Okay, this is, like I said, we want to showcase your learning outcome before they join the course, and also during the course while they're learning. You may start with introducing the learning outcome again, and so that they have an expectation of what they will achieve for that topic and content. Okay, all right. Okay. All right. So Bloom taxonomy is actually a very great reference in selecting appropriate verb to write your course outcome. Can like for example, this Bloom's taxonomy diagram. You can see here: remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. You can see under remembering, can the student recall, remember the information? The verbs that can use like define, duplicate, list, memorize, and recall, repeat, state. That is for under remembering. So the best one that you want the students to achieve is creating, which is, can the student create a new product or point of view, which can be your final learning outcome. With this verb includes assemble, construct, create, design, develop, formulate, or write. So this is something that they have to do, create differently, create new. It's not something that they duplicate. This is something that they produced. You want the students to be able to do that by the end of your course. That's the best learning outcome that you want them to achieve. Okay, but it's not compulsory. It's just your target. You want students' target to be able to achieve that target. Okay. Okay, some examples of course outcome we have here. You can see here, provide, the first one is provide an overview of various types and training program, discuss the various issues, plan, design, organize, and implement, document, evaluate, and propose. You can see here, it goes from provide and then to the end, document, evaluate, and propose. So this goes like a hierarchy, it goes a level up. So by each learning outcome, it goes higher and higher. Okay, that's what you want it to be organized. So you don't want like the first one to be the highest already when the end is the easiest. you want it to like go step higher, a level higher after that. Okay, and then another example is state the components of information technology, discuss, write, aims, objective, and learning outcome. Select appropriate media, discuss technology mediated instruction, design and develop. So you can see this also. It's also going higher every level. Okay, you have 6 learning outcome, and it goes higher and higher. Okay, so that are a example of course outcome, a measurable course outcome that you can follow. So now take a look at your own course outcome. Are they measurable? If so, how do you make it measurable? Okay, you can share your, if you have any problems on coming up on how to make it measurable, you can share it under the comment section, and others can help you to achieve that, and others maybe can help you to tweak it or anything. Okay. Okay, if you already, if your measurable, if your learning outcome is already measurable and you are happy with it, you don't want to tweak it already, you can put your outcome in the course design template. Okay, the one that you have download, you can put it in. Okay. Okay. Okay, I will give it time. Have any questions regarding? Okay. Right. Okay, for those who are done, let's move to the next page. For those who haven't and need more help, you can let us know, me and my team know, in the chat or in the comment here. Okay. All right. Final activity. Already, we just talked about learning outcome and then we're talking about final activity. Okay, so you may wonder why we're already at final activity. Okay, so planning for your final activity after you have set your learning outcome is actually the best strategy for you to do for your course. Now that you have your learning outcome, which is the goal that you want the students to reach, think of how you want them to achieve it. Achieve all of the learning outcome that you have set. So this is where the final activity comes. Okay, so I want you to think of it like this. If you went on a hiking trip and you're not prepared, you don't know the routes, you don't know what to expect, you just go with the flow. You don't even know how it looks like. You don't know the routes. You don't prepare anything. You might, by the end of the journey, you might end up really tired. You will have problems. You get back pains. Your legs is sore, or worst comes to worst, you got lost and didn't even finish it, or didn't even finish your journey. Okay, but if you have a guide, like you have read a book, a guidebook, or you have a friend that have done the route before, you can tell, they can tell you what to prepare, what to expect, what's at the finish line. It may help you to go about the journey faster, and easier. So what I'm saying is that you have your, the learning outcome is basically like a guide for you to create the final activity. So, the final activity will, with all the guide that you have, it will be easier for you to get to the final activity. Okay. All right. So, what are characteristics of a good final activity? So first, it must be aligned to the course outcome. Okay, like how I said about the hiking trip. If you have a guide, it will be easier. So basically, the course outcome is a guide for you. So if it's aligned to the course outcome, the activity would allow the students to achieve the course outcome easier. In that sense, it would be aligned. It would make sure that the students have achieved all of the outcome that you have set. So if you have a good good course outcome, your final activity would be equally great. Okay. Also, it will allow the students to learn from experience or experiential learning, create something new that can be shared with others, which is to by using higher levels of thinking in Bloom's taxonomy, and also apply all knowledge and skills gained from the previous activities that they did in the course. Okay. Okay. So this is what characteristics, a good characteristic that you want to have in your final activity. Okay. So here's an example of activities that are designed for a course for introduction to interior design and its final activity. So the course outcome is to analyze interior spaces and form opinions based on elements and principles of design. To apply design elements to suit the intended function of a space, to develop appropriate work ethics, learning to compromise, deal with differences in opinion, and cooperate with team members. Okay, so this is the outcomes for this course, Introduction to Interior Design. So they want to, students will be able to analyze, to apply to analyze interior spaces, to apply design elements, and to develop appropriate work ethics. Okay. So here you can see the final activity. Final activity that was set for that course, which is developing your online portfolio. So here it says, imagine you are setting up an interior design business. Design and create professional portfolio by setting up your own website or social media site. The main content of your site would be your 3-dimensional drawing or a floor plan based on your client's requirement. In developing your 3-dimensional drawing, you will apply the elements and principles of design. Remember, this is the final activity. So they have learned, they have learned and understood the elements and principles of design. Okay. Once you have set up your online site, share the link in the forum provided. And throughout the semester, your online portfolio will be commented and evaluated by your course mates. Okay. The rubrics and evaluation will be provided. Okay. At the end of the assignment, you will need to submit the report, okay, which is includes all of this. And then they also have core activity, 3 core activities. First is, how can you prove? Basically, you have been provided with a picture of an interior space. Based on what you have learned so far, critically analyze and suggest how spaces can be improved. So this one goes to the first one, to analyze interior spaces. Core activity, plan an office space. The client requires you to design, which will encourage creative thinking and develop an innovative thinking environment. At the end of the assignment, present your office space by uploading in your online portfolio. Okay, so for this one is to apply design elements. And then we have activity 3, preparing for interview. Imagine you're being interviewed for the position of interior designer. Showcase your online portfolio, and they will be assessed based on this. So they will be able to develop appropriate work ethics. Okay, so this 3 core activity activity is for each of the linear outcomes. But for the final activity, they have to incorporate all 3 of the linear outcomes. It's best for you to create an activity that incorporates all 3 so that you can assess the students that they have achieved all 3 linear outcomes. Okay. 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 So that is what you want to achieve when you are creating a final activity. So you already have a linear outcome. Based on that, think of your final activity. Because when you already have a final activity, it's easier for you to create the core, the other activities that are inside it, okay, which will build to the final activity. All right. Okay. Also, we've come up to this activity. Did you notice how final activity is the final activity examples above encourage students to learn from experience, come up with something new, and apply knowledge that they learn. Okay, so now it's time for you to do it yourself. Think of a final activity based on the course outcome that you have put in your course in the previous page. Put in your course title, course outcome, and final activity in here, in the space below. So just add your course title, your course outcome, and your final activity. Click next and post to submit. Okay. No, we already have one here. Imagine your principal calls you to prepare a continuous development program for teachers developing 21st century skills. You will be assessed on a PowerPoint presentation that should include a convincing rationale, program structure, program info. Okay. Okay. Your principal calls you to prepare a continuous development program for teachers in form of visual. Okay. Dr. Nori Kiran, can I know what is the course outcome for this? Can you write your course outcome under here in the comment of your own post? Okay, but I can see where you're going. I just need to know what is your course outcome. Okay, for those who want to share, for those who have shared here, you can also put in your final activity idea in the course design template. Okay. Okay. See, there's more. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So if you already have updated your final activity idea, there's two more columns underneath it, which is your final activity course title and also course objective and aims. So you can do that as you usually do. But if you want to spruce up your course title, you can read here for more inspiration on how to make it more grand. Okay. Activity, case study that learners think. See here, Dr. Dutimoy's shared course title, knee joint, a twist in the tail. It's so so creative. Okay, my team is really engaging you on the chat. So if you have any questions or anything, if you want to share in the chat also, you can. Okay, let me just refresh this page. Okay, see. Outcome inculcations of 32. Three skills among 21st. Essentially skills among teachers' portfolio in daily life. Oh, oh, okay. Okay. Occasions. Okay. Okay. I think this works for an activity. Okay. Course outcome. Identify parts of speech in English sentences. Create sentences using correct tenses and create complex and compound sentences. Okay. Final activity, choose one of the following 4 comic strips and write 500-word story using appropriate tense and all the parts of speech. Oh, this is nice. This is nice. This is good. Okay, I can see that the outcomes is identify parts of speech, create sentences, create complex and compound sentences. So by using comic strips, she asked the students to write a 500 story using appropriate tenses and all the parts of speech. So it have include all of the learning outcome that she have set, and the outcomes are measurable. Okay, that's good. Good job, Young, Michelle. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's move to the next part, which is constructive alignment. Okay. Okay, so what does constructive alignment mean? Okay, it means that the learning activity design is aligned with the learning outcome that learners are expected to achieve, as well as the topic content delivered for learners' knowledge and understanding. Okay, so when you create a course, especially construct a course, any course, it doesn't have to be any course, and if especially a constructivist course, you want it to follow a constructive alignment. Of course, the name itself is constructive alignment. So what here, as you can see this diagram, I have to make it smaller. It shows that it aligns with everything. So what whenever you create a course structure, you want your content, your activity, your assessment is aligned to the learning outcome. So here, when you set the intended learning outcome on what the students should know and be able to do in the course, which are the learning outcome, it reflects, it goes to content and learning activities and assessment. So when you're creating content and learning activities, it reflects back to the learning outcomes, it reflects to the assessment, and also when you're doing your assessment, it reflects to the content, it reflects to the learning outcome. So all these three goes hand in hand with each other. You want that to always be connected. You don't want it to like not be in line with your outcome, with your assessment, with your content and activities. All of this, you have to make sure that it always aligns, all right? Okay, so when deciding on the topics and activities, topics and learning activities, it's important for you to check constructive alignment. Okay, so why do you do constructive alignment? First, it's because to ensure that everything you're going to put into the course is aligned to the learning outcomes, like shown in the diagram. It's to produce a high quality and organized course, and it helps you to focus so that you don't get too overexcited and include lots of information that is outside the scope of your course and might be confusing to the students. So there's three key reasons on why you should follow constructive alignment. Because so when you're creating when you're creating your course and there is an activity or a content that you find it good, but it doesn't align to your outcome, you may put it as additional. It's not something additional activity, or put it on the side. So, or you can consider removing it. So because this might confuse the students on why they're learning this, because it doesn't reflect back to their learning outcome. And it also might be too much information for them to handle anyways. Okay, so if you follow constructive alignment, you will have an organized course, you will have a much tidier more focused and tidy course, okay, which also aligns to your learning outcome. Okay, so here's an example of how constructive alignment is done for the course A Beginner's Guide to Coffee. So this course, A Beginner's Guide to Coffee, is a free course which you can take. This is designed by our team. So you can see if you go into this course, you can see how an online course works and how we incorporate constructive alignment in the course itself. So like for this one, the constructive alignment is learning outcome, content topic, and then learning activities. So the learning outcome is here. The second learning outcome, and then they put all the content and topic that reflects to this learning outcome, and then what are the activities that reflects to the topic and also to the learning outcome. So it is aligned to each other. Okay? You can see the line on each aspect. Okay, so like for example, this course also, this workshop course, like I said, there's 2 learning outcome. So the first learning outcome is designing your course structure. So under the designing your course structure is design OpenLearning philosophy, template, questions to answer, measurable learning outcome, final activity, and constructive alignment. So this goes under designing your course structure, and all of the activities that are designed in here are a part of the designing your course structure learning outcome. Okay, so that is the best way for you to do learning course alignment, but there are also another way for you to do it. You also have other way for you to do, like for the course template that you have downloaded, it might look slightly different. It looks like this. Where you have the module, you have the content and the topic, and then you have the learning activities. Okay, so and another tab actually is the learning outcome. So from here, this is aligned more based on modules, because they might, in the module, they might have 1 or 2 different learning outcome for the content. So they have aligned it like this, this module, the content, the learning outcome, and then what are the learning activities, and then what are the learning outcomes for that learning activity. So this alignment works like straight like this, in a line like this. So you can see it here. So if you have more learning outcome in that module itself or chapters, you can do it like this. Another way is like how this one is. So this is by module also. So you put in what the module, and then list the learning outcome that will be in the module itself, and then the content, the content or topic, and the learning activities, which you can tag with the learning outcome. Okay, so every content, topic, and learning activities, you want to know which learning outcome it represents. You have to know which one it represents, because if not, you may consider omitting it from the course, as it might not be needed to achieve that outcome. Okay, it could also be extra reading material if you want. Okay. All right. Okay, so now I am going to give you 5 minutes for you to do your own constructive alignment in the course design template. You can use the course design template that you have downloaded earlier, or you can choose to use this course design template that are in the workshop course. You can download all of this. Not this one though. You can download this if you wish to use it. Okay. Okay, I'm going to give like 5 minutes for everybody to do this. All right. Okay. How's everybody doing? Hey. Hope everybody's still energetic. Don't worry, we're not far off already. Okay. All right. So now we are at the second part of the workshop, which is developing your course contents. So before I move on to this part, I hope you guys have finished filling in the key details. I hope that helped. Because when we're moving on to this next part, which is your content, coming up with your content and your activities, we will use your course outcome that you have set, and also slightly idea of your final activity. Okay. All right. So now brainstorming your content. So now you have your session narrowed down to topics. You have created your course structure in the previous page. You basically have your session and narrowed down them into topics and modules. You want to think of what to put in those topics. Okay. So what actual content will go into each of your sessions? What content and resources will you use to teach and facilitate your students? For example, in the a beginner's guide to coffee course, for module Introduction to Coffee, you want to find some resources and content on the topic characteristic of Arabica bean in different countries. So the content and resources that might help you to achieve this topic, to get this topic, for this topic, is that you can introduce the origin of coffee production. Either it is from a single or origin blend, by watching a video on coffee culture around the world, which is this one. Sharing different characteristics of Arabica bean in different countries. Showing websites of well-known coffee brands in different countries. Articles on why Arabica coffee beans from certain origins are more expensive. Podcasts by coffee enthusiasts discussing the different aromas of coffee beans from different origins. Okay, so this content might be useful for you, might be useful for the topic characteristic of Arabica coffee beans. So this is just for one page, one topic only, but you have multiple resources here already. You don't need to have just one written content. You can have as many as you want just for one topic. That's the best thing of doing things online, because you have a lot of resources to use. Okay, so like for this one, the topic is very simple: characteristic of Arabica bean in different countries. You could just give them a diagram of characteristic of Africa bean, but what's the fun in that? You would want the students to explore more than just a diagram and infographic. You want them to listen to podcasts of coffee enthusiasts. You want them to see videos of coffee cultivation from around the world. You want them to share different characteristic of Arabica beans. They can you can also share websites of well-known coffee brands in different countries, which they might not know of. Like most people only know Nescafe, and that's not even like a good quality real coffee. You want so by exposing this, they actually get to know more than just one one kind of coffee. Okay, so that is just for one topic. You can do more. So like other resources, content and resources that you can use are like videos, written content, podcasts, articles, and most importantly, activities. So this content and resources would help and support your class in having discussion, ideas, and exploration within the topic itself. So you want to help the students to get to know all of this information. Yes, I mentioned before that by doing constructive alignment, you will you would want to omit the ones that you don't you think you don't need. But for this like for example this one, all of this relates to the topic itself and relates to the topic, but it's a whole different kind of resources and content. You give them a lot of styles to go through. So it's not just looking at PowerPoint, read, and they're done. Most of the time, when you do that, you tend to forget. You go to the next page, you already forget the last page. But if you have different resources and materials, you tend to remember. Oh, I actually remember this from the video. Oh, this content is from a website, so it triggers more power for you to remember, for the students to remember actually. So try to, whenever you do put in your content, try to put in different resources. Okay. All right. So I can give you a slight tour on this course, A Beginner's Guide to Coffee. So this course, a little backstory. This course is basically a course on coffee itself, like just an introduction to coffee. It doesn't teach you how to make your own coffee. It doesn't teach you how to create and cultivate your own coffee. It's just an information about coffee, but it's a very interesting, intricate course. Okay, because from early on you get to know the introduction to coffee topic. You get to know how coffee was found, the coffee and its structure, the variation of coffee beans, characteristics of Arabica coffee beans, coffee grades, coffee and barista, and then you have how coffee is produced, preparing a good coffee and the economy, be healthy coffee, and then you have a final activity, which is to basically going to a coffee shop and then grading the coffee that you are trying. So this course is all about just coffee, and it's a very interesting course. It's a free course if you're interested to go. You can see here, just from one idea of coffee, just coffee, you can create a whole course out of it. Means that there's a lot of information that you can explore just from one idea. Okay, all right. So that's it for coffee. So that is what you want to do when you're creating an online course. You want to go beyond what papers are giving. You want to go beyond that. That's the best thing about doing an online class. Okay. So like I said, other contents and resources that you can use: videos, written content, podcasts, articles, and activities, which we will do in the next page. But also a quick word about activities: watching videos, reading written contents, listening to podcasts, and reading articles are a form of activity. They're just passive. So in the next page, we will actually create activity that helps student do it. Okay. Okay. So right now, I want you to brainstorm and explore what kind of content that you can put in for your own course. So in the comment section, share your course title, your course outcome, the course topic. Can share just one, and then the course content that you plan to put. Like, for example, like this one, the content, the topic. For example, this one, the topic is this: characteristic of Arabica coffee bean, and the content is introduction, watching a video, and articles, podcast. So brainstorm how much can you expand a topic. Okay, try to do that and share this in the comment section below. I like that Dr. Nur Kiran is always very fast. I'm just about this topic. She already posted this about an hour ago. Okay. 21st century skill transformation outcomes. Develop his or her. Okay. Demonstrate skill by real-time activities. The final activity is to do a mock-up, a real presentation. Okay, topic: creativity, collaboration. Topic: critical thinking. Course content: short video. A written excerpt on critical thinking, case studies, activity, reflect. Oh, she already have an activity for this. Okay, so basically she has 3 contents here. Short introductory video, excerpt on critical thinking, case studies on how to develop critical thinking. This is good. I think you can maybe expand it more and find a video on how critical thinking works, and also how more than before you start on case studies, you can show examples of critical thinking. The activity is reflect on your own scenario and write. Okay. Activity: article to read and do critical analysis. Okay. This is a bit heavy, but I understand it's under critical thinking. So this is good. Okay. If anybody wants to share their ideas for their topics, you can share this in the comment section below. Okay. This one, for this activity, you don't need to put in your course design template. You can put maybe notes of it, but it's okay if you don't do it too. Okay. Okay. I will give you maybe 5 minutes for you to think of an idea and share this. Share this in the comment section for those who are in the course. For those who are not in the course, you can also share your ideas in the chat. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I actually have a question from Hasdiana here. When we ask learner to read articles on Coffee Bean, how do you check for understanding, for their understanding? So again, I've mentioned this early on when designing your learning outcome. Avoid to use understanding because you cannot check an understanding. So what she asked here is when they read articles on coffee beans, how do I want to know that the students understand that they read the articles, right? So this is where activities come in. So how I want to check that the students have actually read or understand the articles on the coffee bean, I can ask them to, the simplest one is to explain or summarize what they have read on their articles. That is actually already part of understanding. So it's not just understanding, it goes a bit higher than understanding. They have to summarize, they have to analyze and summarize the article. So if it and also you want to up a bit, you can ask them to reflect it, reflect this based on their own understanding, maybe put it personalized on how they feel, how it caters to them itself. So this actually helps you to see when they are able to answer your question based on the article that you have given, your videos or anything. When they are able to answer this, this is basically them showing that they have understood your the content that you have given. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Next, let's move to constructivism and activity design. Okay, we're nearly the end. Bear with me, everyone. I hope everybody is still having fun. Okay, so now is actually the very fun part of this workshop, I hope. So constructivism and activity design. So when designing, an activity for your content, you want it to be in constructivist style. So how to do this? So when some points to think about when designing activities in a constructivist style is that, does it connect to the students' real world and past knowledge? Does it invite experience and reflection? Is it student-centered? Are students empowered and are at the center of their experience? Are the students active in learning experience? Are they doing, discussing, creating, designing? Is the activity getting students collaborating, interacting, or being social with each other? Can they peer teach, work in groups, have a discussion? Could they be engaged? Or project-based learning? Okay, so so before I move to this, think of the first thing I asked you when we start this workshop. How share your best learning method, right? So you guys share on reflection, doing practical, watching videos, trial and error. Okay, incorporate those ideas that you like. Incorporate that in the activities that you design. You want your students to feel the same way that you do. You don't want them to just see a text and memorize. You want them to experience it the way you do, how you learn best. So you can include activities that can do trial and error, practical activities. You can do reflections. Try to have activities as much types of activities that you can, but try to avoid MCQ or close-ended questions, because this when you put in close-ended questions, you limit the creativity, because you limit the answers that they can give. So whenever you try to put in activities, think of this. So even activities like practical, for example, case studies that were mentioned before. If you want to create a case study, does the case study connect to the student's real world and past knowledge? Does it invite experience or reflection? Is it student-centered? Are the students active in the learning experience? Are they doing, discussing, creating, and designing while doing the case study? Is it collaborative learning? Can they peer teach? Can they work in groups? Should they be doing discussion? And could be engaged in inquiry or project-based learning? So if it checks a lot of these boxes, it's good. It is constructivist learning. Okay. Okay. So you want to try your best to have that kind of activities. So again, your activities should be relevant to your accounts, be relevant to your topics, be interesting, motivating, and fun, interactive and collaborative, connect with the students' world, reflective, meaningful, and encourage self-expression. So I know this might sound a lot to do, like there's a lot of check box for you to tick, right? But the activities can be as simple as it can, but it still check all these boxes. Okay, I can we'll go on this in a bit, but there's a video here you can watch. If you're in the course, you can watch. I don't think I can show this. Might take a little bit of time. So you can, if you're in the course, you can watch this on your own. It explains on this is our team also explains about constructivist style learning activities. Okay, so it's an interesting take and opinion on how this works. Okay, so now I have an activity for you. Okay, so this is a history activity. So imagine this, you are teaching a course on Malaysian studies. The topic that you're focusing on today is the origin of Malaysians. Your students are Malaysians studying in one of the higher education institutions, and this is one of the compulsory course they have to complete. How would you teach this topic? This course can be an online, face-to-face, or blended, but you have to have you have to share on what your ideas for them to learn on this topic, the origins of Malaysian. How would you teach this? Okay, I am going to give you 5 minutes for you to share your ideas. For those in the course, I hope that you guys are sharing this, because I want to take a look at all your ideas. For those who are not in the course, you can share this in the chat box. Okay, so I'll put this screen here so that you can read. For those who are not in the course. So I hope everybody share their ideas on how would you teach this topic, the origins of Malaysians. Okay. This again, your students are Malaysian, and this is a compulsory course that they have to complete. What kind of content and what kind of activity do you want to put in for you to teach just that topic? Okay, 5 minutes, guys. Let's try to do this. Okay, where is everybody? I only got 3 here and no more on, none yet in the chat. I need more ideas. Come on. Share with me your ideas, guys. Oh, yeah. Okay, more. Okay, I want to go to Dr. Nori Kiran first. Okay, course can be blended with flipped classroom. Every reading material can be given before students attend physical class. Physical class include a reflective activity in groups where students reflect in history and impact on various socio-economic factors of Malaysia. Final activity can be project submission in forms of poster presentation. Wow, this is very heavy. Okay, so this is good, but this is actually just for one topic, which is the origins of Malaysians. So that is just one single topic. Okay, so maybe try to reduce reading material to not too heavy. Physical class include reflective activity. I like this reflective activity where students reflect in history and impact. This I also like it, but maybe I also like it because it's also in a form of poster presentation. So yes, like she have highlighted here, it's reflection, interaction, and alignment of contents and topics with each other. So I like that how this could actually be a course on its own. And yeah, good job. I like this. I need more ideas like this. Okay. So I will also focus on making the activities for students as practical and relevant as possible. Center of learning. Okay. How do you make students practical and relevant? Maybe you want to give more examples of how to make this practical. Maybe you can share this in the comments. Okay, Michelle, after letting the students watch a short introductory video on Malaysians, have students work in groups to research more on the topics and create an infographic poster that summarizes their findings. This is nice too. I like that you include that they get to do this in groups and discuss and summarize their findings and put that in an infographic to make it even simpler to understand. Okay. The use of videos, and then I like that you start off very easy and then you gave them the opportunity to explore more on their own by doing their own research, but then they get to discuss and summarize it in an infographic poster, which makes it goes again simpler to digest. It's nice. Good. I like that. Okay, Nur Haizati. Structure, blended content, introduction, video of the original Malaysians. Okay. Activities from a group of 4 or 5. Each group needs to interview 2 Malaysians, one age below 60, one age more than 60 on the top of the topic. Okay. Discuss in an online forum discussion. So basically this you want them to interview on the 2 different age groups on the origins of Malaysians and get their opinion on the origins. I like that. I think you get to do a comparison on the 2 different age groups, the ones that actually have to go through before that and the ones that are still new and getting to know. So the ones that are like more than 60, they have gone through the before before we got our independence. So they might get to tell us what their experience on Malaysia. Okay, I like that. And then they do an online forum discussion and write a reflection. This is good. I like this. Okay, any more? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, there's more. But I read more here because I'll come the end of the course. That's good. Okay. In the chat, in Zoom chat, there's the duty is okay, course content and brief history. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, this is basically a full course. Course materials. Okay, so she say she made it into like oops, sorry. Sections of brief history of Southeast Asia, migratory patterns, effects of neighbors in cultural, anthropologic highlights of Malay population. So course materials, standard history textbooks, online encyclopedias. Okay, even course materials is provided. Okay, a poster. The activity is a poster presentation with a cluster map of learning outcomes. Presentation with cluster map. Okay, so does everybody get to do the same cluster map, or does different people take different clusters, which is also a good activity so everybody can share their findings. Okay, I get where this is going. It's good. Yeah. Flip classroom to share heavy reading material is good. Heavy reading. Okay. All right, good. Let's see here now. Okay, I will get the students to share in a group about their origin, maybe about their grandparents. Each student takes turn to share their background, and then one designated student may present the group sharing to the whole class. This can be done online or in the face-to-face context. At least the whole class get to hear about the origins of each person. Alternatively, students could write a short paragraph describing the origin in a Padlet, and the teacher can collate and show all the paragraph through Padlet. Oh, I like this. This is two nearly similar ideas. So basically, the students have to know their own origin. So they have to do on their own research on their own origin and everything, and then they share their findings with their friends. That's good. I like it. Okay. I will plan field trips, maybe to museums. Oh yeah. That is a good start. Maybe you can follow up, ask them to reflect on their trip, maybe summarize, highlight what the trip is about, and how to incorporate this in the topic to make sure that it is aligned to the topic. Okay, get some YouTube videos on the history of Malaysia. Okay. Okay, let's see if there's more. Oh, there's one more. Okay, I would ask students to complete an assignment that has two parts. Part one, share their heritage, maps, family pictures, okay, and one cultural practice that they love about their culture. Okay, locate a Malaysian friend online that has already completed part 1. Find one similarity and one difference between you and the new friend and post them as your part 2. You can post a short interview, pick 2 different culture but still Malaysians, or an audio clip of your conversation, or write a short report on what you find. This is good. This is actually how we usually do this, do our activities too. But I like your idea. So basically, they also have to think of their own heritage. They have to do their own research about their heritage and their cultural practice, and then they have to take it up a notch and find a Malaysian friend that have the similarity and differences. Okay, and then post interviews between the 2 culture, audio clip and conversation, and write a report. I really like your idea. This is good. Good job. Okay, good job, everyone. I like you. I like your you guys. Yes, I do. But I also like your ideas. Okay, good. All right. Yes, all of you you have really good ideas. Okay. So now I want to show you how our team designed an activity for that topic. That is actually one of a real topic in a real course in an institution. So this is the topic asal usul saya. This is for pengajian kenegaraan course. So it is the origins, your origin. Basically in this page itself, it's all activity. There's no explanation at all about each ethnic groups, each race or anything. There's no explanation at all because, as we know, Malaysians have a lot of diversity. So you can't just give everything. So you might miss something. So instead of you doing that and they just read, why don't they, like was suggested, why don't they research about their heritage on their own? It would be more fun, right? So the first activity is basically asking them how to, what are their heritage. So is it Bugis, Serani, Patani, Arab? So this is a heritage that are available in Malaysia. So and then the students share with them their heritage. They have to do some research, ask their research by asking their family. They can share pictures of traditional clothes or anything. They can share any interesting stories about the clothes, so that their friends can learn. So here, you can see here are real sharings from students. So they have shared the pictures of their own heritage, and then they also put up an explanation about their heritage, about the picture. Okay, so, yeah, you can see here, yeah. So this is one of the ways that you can do an activity. You don't have to give everything. You can ask the students to do their own research and share their learning. Okay, and then as a follow-up activity, the educator asks them based on the image that they have shared earlier on, and they have seen, all of them they have seen, can they like see where the origins of these people are from. So the students will put in their opinions based on the pictures and everything. They try to identify which part. So this is where you came in as a facilitator. Yes, they have shared all their answers. You came in. You can facilitate them and guide them. If they're right, you can like encourage them and everything, give them support and all. So this is where you come in as a facilitator. Okay, and then another follow-up activity. The students have to be in a group and then summarize their findings. So in their group, it could be a few ethnicities or race in that group. So they have to summarize that into a text for their own course. So for their own group, I mean. So like this one, they have like from Kedah, Wakil Kumpulan Kedah. So they summarize their findings here about Kedah origins. Okay, you have Johor for group. For this group, you have, I think they have Segama and Batu Pahat. So they put in their findings and summarize it. So that is an activity that you can actually do for this very simple topic. Like I said, this topic, you don't need to give everything. You can ask the students to do their own research and get to know more. But but the ideas that you have given me in this are all usable. It's great. You can use this for your course too. The same idea of it. Okay. All right. So now I will give you a three-step process in designing a great activity. So first is start with your learning objective. So look at your course objective. What do you want your students to achieve by the end of the course? One tip is that linking your objective to your activity will ensure the students have achieved the intended learning outcome. Okay, your learning activity is the why of the activity. The reason your activity was created is to fulfill the objective. Okay, so remember the three why that was mentioned in the learning outcome. So your learning outcome, your activity is part of the why of the learning outcome. So now the students know why are they learning this, because so that they get to know this. Okay, so your activity have to reflect your learning objective. Okay, and then brainstorm all possible activities. Once you've decided on your activity's learning objective, there might be a number of different ways you could design the experience to achieve it. Brainstorm, think big, consider all sorts of activities that you can think of at this stage. The more the merrier. The main points is to always come back to is that, is it linked to the learning objective? Does it consider as criteria of high quality learning activities mentioned above? If it is, add to your list. Okay. And third one, choose the best experience. Now that you have listed all your possible activities, choose the learning experience that you believe achieve your learning objective the best. Put yourself in the shoes of your students. What would they find fun, meaningful, and relevant to their lives? Which activity fits the best? So try to make it personalized to the students. Students usually like to do more activities that relates to them. So try, if you can, try to personalize it, make it personalized to them. Okay. Okay. Also, it's okay for you to take time to do activity, because we know coming up with a good activity idea, the best one, takes time. So it's okay to come back and change the learning activity when you're designing your course. Okay. All right, so now, now that you have some slight idea of how to create an activity, I want you to put in your activities in your course design template. Okay, the activities that you have put in the course design template, the content, the constructive alignment, put in the activity for it. Okay, but if you still need help on how to make a great activity, we have asked a few experts on this matter. You can watch the video here by just clicking on this, learn from the experts. We have a few people that we interviewed, which tells you on how to create great activities. Okay. Me, Hansen activities are the best experience. So I think when I mentioned that, I'll make this from this box step. Yeah? Yes, that's good. Right. Okay. How's everybody doing? Okay, thank everyone. Good. Okay, so now that you have that, let's go to the last page. Okay, putting it all together. So great news, guys. You have completed your first step in building your online course. So now you can put all the information that you have created throughout this workshop in your course design templates. The key details, which is the course outcome, the hooks, the target audience, the course titles, and then for the constructive alignment, your contents, your activities. Don't forget to put in your to align it with your learning outcome. Okay. Then you when you have that, you can follow up with the next chapters and modules. So you can add more contents and more activities for your course. Okay. Okay. So remember this to follow the tips and tricks to help you ease your process. Follow your learning outcome whenever planning your course structure, contents, and activities. If it's unrelated, consider to put it as extra learning materials instead. So like how I use it, I put it in another page as an extra learning materials if you want to. So if you don't, it's optional. Okay. Try not to give away all the information that you have. Let the learners discover it on their own. Better yet, make it into an activity, like how I shown you for this activity. I didn't. The educator didn't even have to explain all of the content. They let the learners explore it on their own. Okay. Have as much collaborative group activity to make sure that your learners get to share their learning experience while also having fun with each other. Utilize the power of the internet and let the learners gain as much information as they can. Okay, so the best thing, like I said, of online learning, the best thing about online learning is that you get to fully utilize the power of the internet. Okay, take use of that. You can use anything outside a website, videos, articles, podcasts. Use as much resources as you need to in order for that for you to fully give out the knowledge that you want the students to learn. Okay, but the most important part is that have fun. You have fun, the students also have fun. You both need to have fun. Okay, so that is basically the end of this course. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in here or in Zoom. I can get back to you right away if you ask now, but if you have questions after the webinar, you can ask in this space. Okay. Okay, so you can ask here. Also, as I mentioned, this course is always open. You can always come in and refresh your mind on the topics. You want to go through the topics again. You want to get to know other people in the course. You can do whatever you want in the course. Okay. All right. Before anybody leave or we close, as I mentioned early on the workshop, this is the first OpenLearning Basics series. We have another one that's coming up on 17th September. This is more technical. So if you are planning to create a course on open learning, or if you actually have a course on open learning but need help on putting your contents and everything, you can join us in the next workshop, which will be conducted by my colleague Balasandar. We will open up the registration. We will send out a newsletter for everyone if you are interested. But yeah, that one is a bit different. Oh, and you can use the one the course design template that you have created today to follow up on the course design next week, the next workshop. Okay. We will have more workshops, OpenLearning Basics series in the upcoming feature. Okay. All right. If anybody have any questions. Okay. Okay. The next workshop is on 17th September. We have not finalized the time for it yet, but we will send out a newsletter to you on when the registration for that workshop is open. Okay, the topic will be more on the technicals of using open learning course. Okay. All right. If anybody have any questions, feel free to ask. But if there are no more questions, I think so. If there are no more questions, I think we are at the end of our session. We can close our session. Thank you for joining me and my team. If you would like to join the next workshop, we will keep you updated. For this, we will also send you an email based on this workshop. We will send you a link to the video recording of this workshop where you can watch it again. We will also send you information on the next workshop itself. Okay. Again, thank you for joining me and my team today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach our team at support@openlearning.com for any general inquiries about open learning. Okay. But again, thank you everyone. I had fun for this webinar. Everybody is very interactive. Okay. Thank you, Nur Salmin. Thank you, Nalini. Thank you, Shakir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Limatul. Limatul. Thank you. Maybe my team want to say hi too. Maybe you guys can open your cameras and says your video goodbyes. This is Mashita.
Thank you for tuning in, guys.
Chandru. We have another one. Chandru, also Balasandar, which will be conducting the next workshop. Okay, so thank you everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
For joining us.
Thank you. Hope to see you in the next workshop.
Can't see Chandru. Okay, bye.
Mm-hmm.